Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing a review of a horror film from Serbia. Even though this is a Serbian film, it's spoken in the English language, released in the year 2014, directed by Milan Todorovic, and this movie is called Killer Mermaid. It's also known as Mamula, so if you can't find it on one title, please look for it under the other. So the story to Mamula, aka Killer Mermaid, you've got these two American tourists, they're holidaying in Serbia, they're meeting up with a friend of theirs who is a Serbian native, and he introduces the pair to his fiancée. So it was actually set in Montenegro. So it used to be Serbia and Montenegro, but now those two have split and they've made separate countries, but it's in that area. So the two tourists, they want to look out into the beautiful ocean side of this area. They go out there, they realise that there is an island in the far distance, and they want to know what the island is. This Serbian guy tells them that it's Mamula. Mamula used to be a Nazi concentration camp in the war, and that it has a myth surrounding it that I'm not going to go into, but this myth immediately captivates these two tourists and they want to go out there, but the guy says that it's too dangerous, the waters are treacherous around there, and that he just can't do it. So to their disappointment, they accept what this guy has told them until they meet Boban. Now Boban is a friend of these Serbians, and he says that he can take the tourists out there, much to the displeasure of this Serbian guy. He says, no, don't do it, it's dangerous, but the guy says, no, this Boban guy is much more adventurous. He says to the tourists, he'll take them out there first thing the next morning. So they're really excited. But then they're told by a local stranger not to go out there, that it does have a very troubled history, that there is a myth surrounding it that makes it very dangerous, and they probably won't come back alive. But they don't take any notice of this guy. They think that this local is just crazy, and they go out there the next morning. So they realise to their terror that this myth is in fact true, and now they're in a fight for survival. So whether or not they can get out off this island in one piece is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Killer Mermaid, aka Mamula. I will say straight away, Killer Mermaid is a ridiculous title, and I think it does it harm as far as marketing is concerned. So if you're a juvenile sort of horror fan and you see Killer Mermaid, you're probably going to want to go out there and see it. Or if you're into sort of cheesy B-grade films, you probably think Killer Mermaid, this is definitely for me. But if you're on the other side of horror and you want something serious, I think Mamula would have attracted a lot more of an audience. So after seeing Killer Mermaid, I thought, well, this doesn't look too good. But I'm not familiar with the mermaid mythology as much, so when it comes to mermaids, it's not really documented a lot on screen. If you're going to count The Little Mermaid and all that kind of Disney stuff, then yes, but as far as the darker side of the myth, I haven't really been familiar with it, so that's what made me want to go and see it, and also that it's a movie made in Serbia. Now lately Serbia have really caught the world's attention with some really gritty and surreal filmmaking, so I had hopes that it was going to be decent, but judging by the title, after seeing the trailer, which is a lot of boobs and half-naked women, I thought it was going to be a typical sort of teenage film. But as I said, I was holding out hope that maybe I'd get more of an insight into the mythology of mermaids, and that it was going to be a fun movie. But unfortunately, after seeing this movie, it is everything that you expect from a movie titled Killer Mermaid. But unfortunately, you don't get to see too much of the mermaid. When the mermaid's on the screen, there is no mythology behind it. I thought the scenes concerning the mermaid were really haunting. I thought the atmosphere whenever the mermaid was around was great, and I thought the way the mermaid whistled tunes and the way that the mermaid grieved, I thought that was really, really interesting, but it never pays attention to that. It's more concerned about showing women in bikinis, it's more concerned about violence than it is about something that could have made the film worth the effort. So to start off with, it is a movie in Serbia, but these Serbian actors speak English. And that to me is a killer, because the acting cannot be as good. They're speaking in a second language, and some of the dialogue is not delivered very well and is cringe-worthingly bad. So maybe if they were speaking in the Serbo-Croatian language, maybe it would have been a lot more authentic, and it would have actually felt like you were holidaying with these American tourists in Montenegro, and it just would have given it a little bit more authenticity. Now, they don't have to speak Serbian to English-speaking people. Now, I get that, but when these Serbians speak amongst each other, they're speaking English, and it just felt like the movie was made because the director, Milan Todorovic, he didn't have any confidence that Serbia would sell to the world, and that's unfortunately the problem with a lot of foreign films, in that they think that to sell in Hollywood, you're going to have English language, and unfortunately that is the case, because a lot of Americans don't want to read subtitles. But in this film, I just thought it would have helped the acting a little bit better, and as I said, a movie with Killer Mermaid, you're not expecting you're not expecting Oscar-worthy performances, but for me, I just thought it would have been a lot better if they just tried to have a little bit of authenticity in there. Now, that's just me. A lot of other people, might prefer spoken in English, but some of the accents are very heavy, so you really don't understand everything they say. You might have to rewind a little bit in order to get the full grip of what's going on. So Franco Nero plays a cameo as one of the strange locals. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, the acting from the Americans, I will say that they weren't so unlikable, and that's something that I will give credit to the director. He wasn't making these characters so unlikable that you wanted to see them die. But having said that, there is no character development, so you don't really care if you see them die, but they're not annoying, so you don't want to see them off the screen. Now, one of the American tourists gets into a bikini a lot, and I will say she is very good to look at. So a lot of people out there looking for a bit of TNA are going to really like that aspect of the film. It's not shy in showing flesh, although there is not a lot of nudity, but it is mainly just bikinis, so don't get your hopes up too much. So yeah, it's everything that you'd expect from a teenage film, in that it's just going to show you naked women, half-naked women, and it's just going to appeal to you on that front. I will say the cinematography is very good, the colouring is very vivid, and it just feels like a film made in Europe. And I will say that when the bad stuff starts to happen, I thought the atmosphere was kind of creepy, but nothing is ever sustained to the point where it does feel like a genuine horror film. It just feels like a movie that is pulling a lot of cheap punches. It's being a lazy film. It's just appealing to the audience through what you see and nothing in what you feel. You don't feel like these people are in true terror. You don't feel any of the suspense. It's everything that you can see. It's a very superficial film. It's basically buying a book for its cover and not the content. So the content is empty, but the overall cover of the film is very good looking. So if this is your type of thing, I would say check it out, but be careful, because it does have a lot of very good looking women going around in their bikinis, but the violence was a very big disappointment to me as well. Now in Australia, this is rated as R18+, high impact violence, but I thought the violence was very weak. And so on one hand, you've got a film that just doesn't realise the interest, it doesn't realise its potential because of the interesting nature of a mermaid, so it doesn't go into that. You'd expect a little bit of a gore film, but it doesn't go into that. And even the nudity, as I said, they don't really get their bikinis off. It's just basically teasing you, and that's the whole film does. The whole film is a tease. It's teasing you that this could go into mythology, that this could go into a bloodbath, that this could go into good nudity, but it never really clicks. So it's not really going to appeal to many people out there. And I just thought there's just a wasted opportunity. And it's a movie that, as I said, with the title Killer Mermaid, I can't say I'm surprised that it wasn't very good, but I just thought it had enough potential there to make it worthwhile and make it worth recommending. But as a result of all this, apart from the film looking good, it really didn't have anything else going for it, and I just thought it was a mediocre film at best. So overall, for Killer Mermaid, aka Mamula, I'm going to give it 1 star, not coming recommended. Alright guys, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. So next, thank you for watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.